Have you ever looked up at the sky and whispered, "Why me? Why does life take so much from us, break us, delay us, confuse us? Why does God stay silent when we need Him the most?" Today, I want to tell you a story so real and so close to the heart that at some point you might feel like I'm talking about you. This is the story of a young man named Ion, a simple boy from a small town with big dreams. He would wake up before sunrise, travel long distances on an old bus, and work a job that barely paid enough to keep his family alive. But he never complained. He believed with all his heart that God was watching and that one day his time would come. But life has a strange way of testing those who trust the most. One morning, he reached his workplace and found the gate locked, a paper on the wall saying, "Company closed." No warning, no salary, nothing. Ion stood frozen, as if the ground had disappeared beneath his feet. He walked home slowly, not because he was tired, but because he didn't know how to tell his mother that he no longer had a job. When he did, she didn't cry. She simply placed her hand on his head and whispered, "Maybe God wants to take you somewhere better." But those words are easier to hear than to live. Days passed without a job. Bills piled up. His mother fell sick. His younger brother looked at him with hope he couldn't carry. And slowly, the boy who once woke up with the sun stopped waking up at all. Every night, he sat on the rooftop, staring at the silent sky and whispering, "God, why me?" Statistics say that 72% of people lose hope after 3 major failures. Ion faced 5. He failed interviews, failed tests, failed responsibilities, failed his dreams, and worst of all, he failed to believe in himself. One evening, sitting alone in a park, he looked completely lost. Then an old man sat beside him, ordinary yet carrying a strange calm in his eyes. He looked at Ion and said, "You look tired, not of walking, but of carrying something heavy inside you." Ion didn't reply, but the man continued, "Do you know that more than 85% of successful people were first broken by life? God breaks you before He makes you, not to destroy you, but to remove the weaknesses you cannot see." Ion looked at him for the first time. The old man smiled and said, "You think God is silent, but sometimes silence is the plan. Silence is protection. Silence is preparation." He stood up and added, "When God takes something away, don't hold on to the door. He closed it because it was too small for what He wants to give you." And just like that, he walked away. No name, no explanation, only a message that Ion didn't know he needed. The next morning, something inside Ion shifted. He woke up early, felt a small spark of courage, and enrolled in a computer course using borrowed money. He failed twice, but this time he didn't stop. 3 months later, he got a call from a big company. When he went for the interview, he realized something unbelievable. Every skill he learned in his old, low-paying job, the one he thought was useless, was exactly what they were looking for. Every rejection, every closed door, every sleepless night had been preparing him for this moment. He got the job. A good one, enough to support his mother, educate his brother, and rebuild everything he had lost. And one evening, while returning home on a bus, he looked outside the window and whispered, "Now I understand. God wasn't punishing me, He was preparing me." Years went by. Ion rose higher, grew stronger, wiser, calmer. People asked him how he survived those painful years. He simply smiled and said, "I stopped doubting God's plans." Maybe you, listening right now, are in your confusing chapter. Maybe your door has closed. Maybe life took something from you. Maybe you feel stuck, tired, or invisible. But remember, God's plan is never wrong, never late, never weak. If He is holding you back, He is protecting you. If He is delaying something, He is preparing something better. And if He is silent, He is arranging things you cannot see. When God closes a door, it's because the room behind it is too small for the future He has written for you. So don't doubt, don't give up, don't lose faith. Your story is not ending. This is the part where God is silently shaping your destiny. And one day, just like Ion, you will look back and say, "Now I understand." Never doubt God's plans.